Pastor Dr. Peggy Hicks. Just 1 second here. I'm going to put up something here it's on my heart. It's actually in my living room. I want to. It's called the Wurlitzer organ. I want to move it out. So if you know anybody that wants to have a Christmas gift to play carols or songs, it's yours. Just email me at john@xpin.news. john@xpin.news. And we'll have another commercial here for something else here in just a little while. I don't know if it's a commercial, but public service thing here. So I'm going to take that down. So think about getting yourself a Wurlitzer organ. Well, I have a pleasure to welcome Dr. Peggy Hicks, Pastor Peggy Hicks. So we're going to welcome her here. She's coming up now. There she is. Good afternoon. How you doing there, Pastor?
I'm good. How are you, Brother Ross?
I think I'm doing pretty good. Excuse me. The only thing is I got post-nasal drip cough here.
Oh, okay.
Earlier, I don't have to go down my list of my times I've had a fever the last month here, but
Wow.
I had 3 or 4 times for different reasons. And now I just took my flu shot. I hope I don't get whacked up here in the next days on that. Just had that today at Advocate. So.
Yeah, take care of yourself. You know, rest is the key, John. Getting rest is the key.
That's it. Well, I've been trying to get my 8 hours. You're
okay.
Thank you for being pastoral there and giving me good advice. That is very true.
Yes.
I do need you do need that good sleep. And
yes.
So anyway, I encourage everybody to get their shots. You can see that at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
At our healthcare VNA or the county site, whatever works, but or your doctor, whatever, get your shots, get your COVID shots. If you can get your third one, get it. And Dr. Hicks knows that I've been talking about this for a while, right, Pastor Peggy?
It's important. It's very important. And, the booster shots are now available through VNA. You just have to register. So,
right.
I think it's 18 through 65, but more of the essential workers, those with health issues and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's getting quite a few. It might pretty soon it'll almost be everybody, but it's getting quite a few, right? And then we got our young ones now. Oh, I was so excited to hear about young ones getting shots too.
Yeah, age 5 through 11, right? Is that
right? Yeah. And it was so exciting. I had one person, one guy at church, a young guy, and I saw some online, and another thing is, Pastor Peggy, I know you're a salesman of the gospel and a salesman in a lot of different ways. I was trying to persuade my one friend at my church for several weeks to go and get his first COVID shot. First, he's over 75 years old with asthma, and he was giving me all this, I don't know what he was getting, sort of malarkey stuff. And I just told him, talk to your doctor. I said that several times, And another lady friend said that to him. Well, this last Sunday came up to me and told me, John, I got my shot.
Wow, that's great.
And you should have seen this. He was happy about it. He wasn't like, I took that because you twisted my arm or something. No, he was happy about it. I go, wow, that made me feel so good that.
Well, it probably was.
I know that's how the gospel, how we talk to friends about Jesus. It might not be overnight, right?
Right. And it is your approach, because sometimes, when people are reluctant about it, you have to just validate their feelings about being reluctant, but then just give them, the facts and then let them make the decision. And that's kind of what you did. You just kept talking to him about it, and finally he got it. So that's good. Kudos to you. That is good.
It really made me feel good. I can't describe it.
Yes.
It's just, I know there's a lot of times we don't have. I had another friend too that I persuaded, and that was a late one too here. So it it just takes persistence, I guess, and the facts, of course, and
Right.
and doing it as Pope Francis said, do it in love,
Yes, that's the
and
key.
and that's what you were practicing there at the other day. I want to bring up this right now so we can practice a little more love here.
Okay.
It's about the free turkeys coming up. Uh, but you got to register for that. It's Aurora. I believe that's Aurora residence because the way it's set up, I'm sure it is. But
Yeah,
you
with the
get
city. But John, I think of as of today, they've closed it. They're at
really?
capacity.
Oh, well, that's interesting because it's
Hmm.
only one day of registration and they close. I don't know, or else they're going to get more than 1,500 turkeys. I don't know.
Right, right. But there will be other places, people should check in with the Salvation Army. They should
Right,
also check in with Marie Wilkerson, even though they're involved in that in the interfaith. They may have some turkeys that are coming in later. This is just one event, so
right. Well, that's
and
very
check with
true.
all of the food pantries, and check with your local churches as well. And I know that there will be some other groups giving away turkeys. So we just kind of have to watch social media and the paper to see uh, who's going to roll that out. People now are, they're getting like vegetables and things like that, but they need meat,
Right.
and I think that we forget that some of these companies that these people work for, they're not going back, and so they find themselves unemployed and trying to, all of the COVID in terms of the extra income, that's not there anymore. Their unemployment has ran out. So, now they're looking for a job, but hey, it's a process, it's a process. So, man, I tell you, if we ever need God, we need him now,
Well, that's true.
for these
I'm
families.
sure I agree with you. I'm sure there's other ways to, as I say, skin the cat or whatever.
Right,
If there's a need for a turkey or a dinner, I'm sure there's going to be
right.
some more opportunities. That was this Saturday, but
Yeah,
well, we still got 10 more days till Thanksgiving,
right.
so I think there should be some other opportunities coming up.
Oh yeah, they will. And they just, again, it's all about making phone calls. Check with your local church. They may know who's giving it out. Check with the city of Aurora to say, are there other, entities giving out turkeys. It's
Right,
checking in. It's really just, really being diligent about trying to find out where they're at and who's giving them
that's
away.
true. That's
Yeah.
true. Well, we put out the word on that over the weekend, but that closed down pretty fast there.
Yeah, I
Then
saw it about 11 o'clock this morning. It
really, it
said,
only opened up at noon yesterday. Wow,
well,
that's less
obviously,
than
it was on
24 hours,
Facebook. Yeah, it was
huh?
on Facebook and it was on,
Oh yeah,
so,
no, it was around. It got around. I
and you
put it
sent out
around.
the
I know
notices too. So hopefully those
there
people
was
registered.
notices all over the place about it. So
Right.
at
So
least on
hopefully
social
those are the
media,
people that registered.
at least on social media, there was, and maybe some churches made the announcement too. And
Yeah.
so, wow. Anyway, that closed down pretty fast.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll come back with more too after they see that need too.
Right.
That's another thing. Maybe that'll bring that up. Well, I was with Pastor Peggy and clergy and other friends a little over a week ago now on a Friday on the 5th for a scholarship event. And why don't you explain that event a little? I'll show a picture here of Pastor Peggy with the speaker there for the evening was Reverend Juan Thomas. You want to explain about the scholarship event and the significance of that?
Right. Well, it was our 13th annual scholarship event, and we raised dollars to give scholarships to kids who are within the faith network, but who attend local schools. And each year, we have 100% rate return on our scholarships that we've given. all of the students that we've given scholarships to date have graduated, and some of
Wow,
them are
that's
gone on
nice.
to higher
That's
learning. And so that we know that this event is important, and we thank our sponsors, Aurora Township, the City of Aurora, East Aurora School District, Fox Valley Park District, and so much more. We couldn't do the work without them. And so we're pleased to be able to give these most deserving students scholarships that help on their books and help defray the cost of their education.
so there's the program. I'm just put up on the screen there from the night. You can see some of the highlights there, and they heard from the students too. So that was interesting also. So that was the program, and it was quite extensive program. So I thank you that I had the opportunity to be there, and there's some photos of that online that I have up. So you can see those.
Right. And if I think if you go to our page, Fox Valley CMA,
Yep.
on Facebook, you can catch the program in its entirety. And it was an excellent program, John. Thank you for being there. And it's an opportunity too where we get together. We have not been together socially, and so people really felt good about being there. And although it was a smaller venue than we normally have, it was nice. It was nice. It was an hour long live event. A half an hour earlier, we had some food, and people had an opportunity to just converse with each other, and that was a good feeling. I mean, I even feel it now, because we've been so separated by COVID and trying to follow the guidelines and all of that. But it's something about how God made us, the spirit that's in us, that we need the love and the connections with people. And so for that, I was grateful for.
Yeah, it was a nice event, and uh, Peggy, when give me more specifics. I'll put out about where that video is. You give me more specifics on that, and we'll pass that around
Okay.
on that video. And we had a very powerful message from Juan Thomas too. I thought it was a very powerful message, and it was powerful. Anyway, it spoke to me, and so. I just thank for that, and there was 4 students that are blessed by that scholarship program.
Well, it's
And
actually 5.
oh, it's 5.
One
Okay,
one we
I
did,
thought it was
yeah.
only 4 on that
Yeah.
list. Maybe
It
there
was
were,
4 on the list that did the actual, they did the video inserts, but there's actually 5 this year. And the one
okay,
young lady, she's out of town, she's in school, and so you know how difficult it is. So to get 4 of them, that was really major,
okay,
because many of them are back in school, and you know how it is when you hit those books, and it's tough.
yeah.
So,
I remember that the late Bishop Charles Phillips was really. I, I think you'd have to agree was probably the instigator of this whole thinking about reaching out to students more, and
yeah. Yeah,
and
because he believed that education, as many has said, is a way out of some of the situations that some of these young kids are faced. And it's an opportunity to change your economic status, and even to help your family. Because some of those kids grew up in public housing, and
okay,
so once they get their degree, they do reach back to help their families. And so for that, that is a blessing. And, we don't want kids to just not be good citizens. So I
no,
think providing scholarships and the discipline that they have to have, it makes them good citizens.
we need more good citizens by far.
Yeah.
That's a very
Yeah.
truthful
The
statement.
citizens that get into good trouble, as they say, good
Okay, yeah,
trouble.
right. Good trouble. Okay, I get
Right,
it.
right. And John, I wanted to talk a little bit. Our theme was keep hope alive.
Right.
Juan, Reverend Juan did an outstanding job, and that is something that we really need more of now. Hope, I think it's hope and love. Those are the two things that resonate in my mind. Is that without hope, we can't believe for the things that need to happen, right? We, even though things look dire and they look bad, and we look back at 2020 when COVID first came on the scene, we had to have hope to push us forward. We had to believe that things were going to get better. And while they're not 100%, things are getting better. Things are getting better. And so hope is something that sustains you when you can't see your way out. Hope, hope, hope.
Hope. Yeah, I think that's Inspiria or something in Spanish, but yeah, we need hope, and our Christian faith does provide us hope,
Yes.
and we just gotta see our communities, black, white, Latino, others,
Yes.
to pull together here. And the only way, I think Reverend Juan mentioned that, I know others would, about that we're all one in Christ Jesus, and
Yes.
we have to do more to pull ourselves
Right.
together and do things. There's a lot of, I know there's division, and I don't know how. There's this book out, I think it's called Saving Grace by Kirsten Powers. I haven't read it, just sounded interesting. About, she's a more or less a political columnist in the Washington Post, and uses some Christian basis trying to get us more back together as a country, as a people.
Right.
Uh, it's very difficult because some of these things are not, I'll be honest with you, some things are not truthful. And when there's
Mm-hmm.
no truth, I don't know, it's very hard to speak to people when they're not speaking in truth, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the hard part here. And maybe we just have to keep speaking truth in love, but we do have to
Yes.
keep speaking truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have to speak truth. That is true. Yeah, we have to speak truth. And
but
John, I was thinking yesterday we were talking about the Lord being our shepherd.
right?
And when we think about the
Pastor
massive.
Peggy, can I ask you one thing? Put your
Okay.
face up a little higher on the
Okay.
screen here for us.
Okay. Okay.
You're like sinking on us
I
here.
don't know why I'm in this. Well, okay.
I know
The
how that
living room and
happened.
the
I
couch.
noticed that
It
the
kind of.
other night at the banquet, the mic was sort of like going down. It was like, oh, it's going down. It's not
Yeah, but you think about how many people are on the face of the earth, and how
right.
God has looks upon all of us. He's massive. And so when we think about the times that we're in, the transitions, we have to know that he's got things in control. And I think it's when we stop thinking about when we look at it in the natural for what it is and don't put him first in the equation, that's when we start to sink. That's when our faith starts to fail. And so we just need to know that he's a big God. He's in control of all that's going on. And after a while, we're going to see some changes. We're going to see this pandemic lift. We're going to see where people are going to be getting back together again. Maybe not to the measure that we used to, but it will happen, and it's going to happen. And for our children, my heart just goes out to them, John, because this kids they love to hug and run and interact with each other, and to put up those kind of barriers, it's emotionally draining. And so we, like, you were with your friend about the vaccination, we have to be consistent in our faith, consistent in letting people know it may seem dark like right now, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And
Yeah,
so, with that, really, we have to keep hope alive, hope in God alive.
that's very true. And yeah, I noticed that these young people, I'm just related to the vaccinations, but a lot of them are really just, they're more excited than, I mean, they're almost doing cartwheels about it, uh, because they know that that helps their family and their friends. And
Yes.
I just, it just puts a smile on their face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really beautiful. So we'll just hope that that keeps going, and maybe that'll persuade some more of our adults that are reluctant to change on that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think our biggest struggle is with our young people 16 through 40. I think
Yeah.
that's where the biggest struggle is, that, you know, they have their beliefs and their values, and so all you can do is just keep talking to them, and sometimes, when it touches a friend or somebody close to them, then the reality comes in. But we just have to keep, like you said, be persistent, and sharing. It's a good thing to go get it done. So
I think so. And it does speak to me about the COVID thing. It does speak to us about how we show our Christianity too, how we got to be persistent. I know you've been very persistent on a lot of different things, Pastor Peggy, and it shows the faith. What are some of the things that you can think of right now that are with the Valley Christian Ministerial Alliance, that some of the down the road, some thinkings or some future things you want to talk about? Or I know COVID's out there, we just got to beat that. So, well, you got any other thoughts?
well, I think, John, we really have to focus on our seniors. We really have to make sure that they are taken care of. We have a lot of seniors who have the vaccinations, but they're homebound,
Oh yeah,
because of their
yeah,
health conditions. And so we have been really aggressive about making phone calls, doing wellness check-ins,
right.
also stopping by and taking meals, not like from Meals on Wheels, but like a meal we pick up, like a Popeyes with some, and just
Okay,
surprise them so they don't have to cook that day, or
right.
meals from various places. And you'd be surprised. I showed up one day with a meal for a husband and wife, and I told her I was coming, and he had stepped out for a minute, and I got there, and I had to do these other meals, right? And I had a short window to get them done so that they would still be warm. And she came outside, she sat on the porch, and she was just, oh, she had so much to talk about. And finally I had to say, I got to get going. I hate to leave you, and I did. I felt really bad that I didn't have more time. And
Right,
so I think that, for us, the Ministerial Alliance, two focus is our young people, their mental health and their well-being, and
right,
also the spiritual and mental health well-beings of our seniors. And so we have to be proactive about that and make sure that we're checking in, make sure that they're available, all the services that are available to them. And the other focus is that we, work with a group, that to keep them informed about Alzheimer's and the effects of it. Pastor, my mom is getting ready to start these memory type activities during the day. And
okay,
so we are really senior and youth focused in a real way, dealing with their immediate needs, right? So, sometimes it's getting a meal. Sometimes it's I need help getting my paperwork filled out, or I need to find cheaper housing.
right,
Okay, those kinds of things, those things I need to understand my Medicaid or Medicare, which plan do I pick? So we have a program that works with seniors to address some of those needs and barriers that they think exist. And we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to do that. We get calls about people needing glasses, and so we have to, we find ways to help with that. And let me just say, African American Men of Unity had a program. It's a COVID relief program,
uh-huh,
and it was able to help seniors as well as those who have been affected by COVID to purchase groceries and, paper products,
Right.
because paper products are so expensive, including the cleaning supplies. So it was able to do that, able to help people who had a copay with their insurance.
Okay.
One person we know, their copay, they had used so much up with being in the hospital with COVID that
Right.
they now have $150 copay. I guess there's like this type of insurance, you use so much of the money up and then you
Yeah.
have to wait, you know. And
Yeah.
so we have people who are faced with those kinds of things. And so we have to be there to lend that extra support. And if we get a call about something, we try to, if we can't fulfill it, we try to reach out to other organizations to make sure that whatever that person is needed, that we can assist them.
Yeah. I know the VNA offers a lot of services
Hmm.
in the home, and the vaccinations would be one. I know they do other services, but
Right.
I know that for sure that they'll come
Yeah,
out
they've
on.
helped us a lot too, John. Doing the vaccinations, I can't tell you how many people we didn't register through VNA.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, for the vaccinations, as well as they've done some like mobile clinics for us,
Oh, right,
like
right,
as
right,
far
right.
as DePage County. I mean, I asked them to, for this particular store in DePage County, they went
Oh, yeah,
and
right. You
they,
mentioned that one.
yeah. So VNA has been very, very, very supportive and making sure. And with homebound, we had some seniors that were homebound,
Right.
and they've gotten their vaccinations. So they've been very, very, very successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I read an article. I'm going to post it later today that they did a survey about churches and vaccinations. They did a lot about churches and stuff, but the end was that there's maybe only 8% of the churches were doing clinics or anything. I don't know. It was 8% though. It was not
Wow.
as high as I would have liked to seen,
Was
churches.
that for our community though? Because I
No,
know,
no, Nashville,
okay,
Nashville. I don't know what Aurora is or the area.
because I know there were a lot of,
Well, there's been some churches.
yeah,
Eight
even at
percent.
your church, First Press.
Yeah, we had
Um,
one or two things. We didn't have this last thing on the shots, but we had we had a testing. Yeah, we did
yeah,
have a testing, and I know some
yeah.
other churches have had shots. And
And St. John hosted one of the bigger ones, Black
right,
Fast.
right, they had a
And then
big
there
one
was
there.
the city. We work with the city as well with Latino Vac and Indian Vac and all of that. And so the church is kind of joined in with that, And I know
Yeah,
Gales had something. We had something downtown at Aurora Township. The Kane County Sheriff bought his mobile unit
right.
a couple times. So I think
I mean,
we,
we're trying. Uh,
yeah,
the number, though, a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, maybe it was in the paper that the east side there had only 40%
yeah, yeah.
vaccinations. I go, wow.
Right. Yeah, we still have some capacity building to do, particularly in the Latino community as well.
I think so. And
And to make them feel comfortable, just historically, there's just some apprehension.
right.
And
Well, there's
then
yeah,
we've been able to get some done by using people from the Spanish community who have a good reputation, who they trust, and we've been able to get them there because some of them are not documented, and so there's a fear if they go that
right,
something might happen to them, and so we have to assure them and go with them. And we also had to talk to some of um, the ones doing the vaccination, that it's threatening when you say, "Do you have insurance?" Although it's free. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
No, that's free. And
Yeah. And so that scares some of them. And so there's just certain things, and
right.
it's taking time.
It's
But
just like, well, anyway, it's still out there. This guy, it's the numbers at the state level and the county are basically it's on hold. I'd say it's not. It was sort of like going down. it's sort of
Yeah.
leveling off, or maybe a little uptick. So it's not, this COVID's not gone away. In other words,
Right. Right.
and
But
probably the indoor stuff is going to make it. We guys gotta be smart about our indoor things.
right. Yeah, people are still, they want to have these large gatherings and stuff like that, but we still need to go slow. But at least most people are wearing the mask and trying to do what they're supposed to do according to the COVID guidelines.
Yeah, right. Well, the faith community, I know you're working with that very diligently, Pastor Peggy, and I appreciate that. And we just got to keep this moving. And appreciate you, your mother, your church, and other in the
Thank you.
Valley Christian Ministerial Alliance, what it's doing on that front. And we'll just keep at it here.
Yeah.
And Wednesday, oh geez, time just flew by here, Pastor Peggy. I didn't realize that we've been talking so long. But on Wednesday, I'm going to have, I don't know if you know this, Jill. You probably might know him.
Yes,
Mike.
I know Michael.
Yeah, we're going to have Michael Isaacson on Wednesday, just giving
Okay.
an update on the whole situation here in King County. So
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Actually, every week there's a check-in with the faith-based community.
right.
There's a Zoom. So, Kane County Health Department, they're doing 100. They really are.
Yeah, no, I've had very good conversations with him and my VNA friends. So we're moving ahead here, and I'm glad he's coming back. So
yeah, because I'm sure there's some new, Brother Ross lost a friend of mine who was vaccinated a couple months, maybe it's 2 months now.
Really?
Yeah, and so it was the new Delta variant, and he was around people who were not vaccinated,
right,
and not wearing masks, and so yeah, he got it.
But he had been vaccinated?
Yes, but he had diabetes.
Oh, so he had some other health issues that
right, and he needed to have been more cautious. I guess he was down in Springfield or something. His son was telling me, and I was just shocked. I was like, because he was so excited to get the vaccination,
Right.
And so there is a new strand, and I'm sure, Michael will talk about that maybe.
Oh yeah,
and
no, he'll
also
talk
about the booster shots and what that means.
You know that what do they call that when you have the shot and get it? That's very low, but it does happen.
Like that long haulers or something?
No, that's not long haul. Long haul is when you get COVID and just what the damage could be. Oh no, I forgot what they call this. It'll come to me, but whatever. It's not that high a percentage. Maybe it's out of all the COVID, most of them are not vaccinated. It's probably only 2 or 3% are this, that have had the shot and it still affects them.
Mm-hmm.
It's always better to have the shot. You got less chances of what the long term. Actually, the booster, I think, really, if my understanding is, really comes up there. That really does really good things. So I just got my dang sinus thing. It keeps bothering me. Thank you, Pastor Peggy, for coming by today. And we had a little conversation.
Well, it felt good, Brother John. Good conversation.
Yeah, we'll have to come back. We'll have some more conversations. A lot of we could talk about other topics here too. I know there's Pastor Peggy. I do too. We put the spiritual with the political. We can do that pretty easily.
Yes,
we could have got off on that front too here a little more, but that's for another time. But
yes.
That probably would be as long too. I got a feeling we could talk for a while on those fronts. Well, anyways, Pastor Peggy, thank you for coming by, and I just want to say, God bless all you out there that have been listening, and we'll see you on Wednesday, Lord willing. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. It was a pleasure, John. Bye-bye.